morning. Another morning on my way to work, and I got more hospice stories. I did some more of my book summary on Journey to Heaven by St. Tikhon of Zadomsk, but I haven't gotten to it yet. This morning I was going to tell a little short story about one of my hospice patients who was a weightlifter. He lived to be in his late 90s, and he held world records for weightlifting as an old man in his age category. And he was a super nice guy. He looked like he was in super good shape, especially for his age. He was in his 90s. The point of this story is that no matter what you do to try to stay healthy and stay alive, you're going to end up dying eventually. And I'm not saying that to be negative or toxic, but there's a bright side to this story as well. He was very fit. He was best friends with a TV personality who was famous for his infomercials on eating healthy. I won't go into detail because I don't want to give away his identity. But yeah, this guy was well known out in Hollywood and all over the place. So when he got into his 90s, he started to get dementia, and that's how I came to know him. Was he got dementia, and because of his dementia, he was put into an Alzheimer's unit where I was working at the time, and he was still with it. He could still walk. He was still walking around, talking, carry on a conversation with you. And to be quite honest with you, despite the fact that he had dementia, he never really got to where he was like a vegetable, which is the bright side of this story. So he did everything he could in his life to stay healthy and fit. And he used to brag about it a little bit. He'd hit himself really hard in the stomach. It was uncomfortable for me to hit myself that hard. He would hit himself really hard in the stomach and say he was still strong. And he always had a smile. He was very happy. Well, not always. Towards the end, he got sick, and he was naturally subdued and quiet and withdrawn. But that was right before he died. Up until that point, though, he stayed very happy and positive and fit. It could be argued that part of the reason he died was because he went from his really healthy lifestyle into a nursing home where he got American diet all the time. He got fed the American diet, which is not healthy, generally speaking. And of course, he couldn't exercise as much because he was in his 90s and he was pretty frail. But he wasn't frail. I mean, he hit himself and he was really strong, but he was kind of wobbly, walking around. What had ended up killing him was he got sepsis. He got urinary tract infections, and he got constipated. And there again goes back to the things I was saying about his diet change. Your body gets used to a certain diet, you change it like that, it's not a good thing. So what ended up happening was he gradually got sicker and sicker from frequent urinary tract infections and constipation until he got sepsis and died. But the moral of the story is that there was another lady who was a gym teacher, and she also had dementia. She was in there around the same time. And she was also extremely fit, but she had a more advanced dementia. She couldn't communicate very well. She still kind of knew what was going on, but she had anxiety, and she couldn't verbalize what she wanted to say very well. and she just was kind of unsure what was happening, and it was sad. It was very sad. Her husband was around still too, and I won't go into too much detail on that either, but she walked up and down the halls, and she would do calisthenics in the day room, and she kept her exercise routine up even though she had dementia and she was, slowly dying. And her situation was kind of similar to the other guys, and that she gradually just declined until she couldn't survive anymore. And it was kind of the same deal. Now, the moral to the story is that both these folks lived to be very old, and both of these folks were extremely ambulatory, strong, and happy for the most part. The lady was pretty anxious, but again, I think that goes back to nutrition. Because when you get in nutritional imbalances, it can cause anxiety and a lot of those problems. I've learned that the hard way. Nutritional yeast is really good for that. Vitamin B1, thiamine. So that's the moral to the story today, is that if you exercise and healthy living may not make you live to be 120. It might, but it might not. However, what it will do is it will make your quality of life into your old age, until you can't live anymore, much better, much healthier, much happier, much more active, less dependent upon other people. And I highly recommend that. That's basically what I'm trying to do. Now, like I said, my father and my grandfather died in the early 60s. So there's no guarantee that I'm going to live to be older than that, even though I'm doing all I can to try to stay healthy. But I'm doing the best I can, and really it's between that and up to God. So that's my moral for today. Yep, I'm going to leave it there. Pray for me, a sinner. God bless. Over and out.